Hi, I'm Grant Clauser. I'm teaching the poetry workshop at the Rosemont Writers Retreat, and today I read some poems by a couple of new manuscripts that I'm working on, and it's been a real pleasure to work with the great students this year at the retreat.
Welcome everyone to Thursday's Writers and Readers series here at Rosemont College, part of the Rosemont Writers Retreat, sponsored by the Rosemont College MFA program. Today's guest is Grant Clauser, who is a wonderful poet. I'm so glad to have Grant back at the retreat this year. He's going to read some terrific poetry for us, and I'm hoping for some zombie poems. As a poet, you must think about theme. It must be a little bit different. I'm assuming, I'm making assumptions, Grant, but it must be a little bit different for you than it is sometimes for fiction writers, especially when theme kind of emerges. Maybe not.
Only after I'm a good portion into the draft, most times. I'm more focused on the language, on metaphors I like, on similes I like, on the imagery, and that's always what happens first. Usually, it's a collection of words, a few lines, or an image that I'm attracted to, and then I'll start developing a poem out of that. Theme will come later in the process, and even develop a lot more when I'm trying to put together a manuscript and think, how did this year and a half worth of poems kind of fit together?
When you're putting this stuff together, or when you're considering work, do you think at all about gender or popular culture or politics? Does that play any role in your work?
As a poet, if you're going into it because you want to say something, you're going into poetry wrong. Poetry, you fall in love with poetry because you're fascinated with the how things are said. If you have something you want to say, be a blogger or a journalist or a politician. But if you're a poet, it's the how things that are said that's most important.
You have a favorite word?
I like words that have some music to them. I keep the shelf right above my desk is all field guides, and I often go to those to look for organic words. Especially if there's an outside scene or something in the poem. I'll look. I want to have the right plant name or the right animal name or something like that.
I'm going to stop talking and let you read some poetry for us.
To river bass, you're Turkish delight. To everything else, you're the river's dank nightmare. A larval thing that crawls under bedrocks that have never seen the light of day. You're no tiger burning bright, but some fearful hand's mad lab experiment. If the hand that made the lamb made you, you thanked it with a bite that drew blood. You pull teeth from a gift horse's mouth. Oh mandible, oh prolegs, oh stench of undermud and fish guts. Cross between Mothra, Jabba the Hutt, and Maine's meanest lobster. When I twist your fleshy tail onto fishhook, crack your exoskeleton armor with a sharpened barb. Don't get mad, get even. Light the river bass's hunger with your sticky gills. Be the bait that gives 100% by taking the bass down with you. But if you survive and make that change to heaven's fallen butterfly, know that every sin your body's marked with will shed one night under a summer's full moon, when you finally spread your wings like weeping willows and hunt instead from the sky. Like Sasquatch or the Tooth Fairy, everyone believed in it at one time, at least a little. How evolution or mutation could maybe really have made such a thing. We know stranger beasts exist. Narwhal, platypus, two-headed snakes, and the Venus flytrap. All monsters you can prove with books, and not half as likely as a jackalope's pointed rack. Even the sky we wander under, the one we watch late summer nights, has stars for every mystery we can name. Yet in between each spectral light are holes even dreams can't reach. At the Buckhorn Diner, one mounted head grazed above the cash register for 50 years like a story told so many times it becomes legend, until the fire burned the restaurant down. What if that was the last of its kind, gone to ash and grease fire's splendor till just the glass eyes remained? Like Chupacabra chasing down calves in Texas dawns, or the Jersey Devil spreading its bitter wings across the pine barrens, Jackalope is the door we step through, the name we give to small nightmares or delights, the hope we place in stars that mysteries are real, that fire spreads spontaneously like spring weeds in an empty field, and nature's twisted means to an end has to take some risks to make a life worth living, even if it turns out to be a lie. In the margins, he scratches a note on how to fold a rabbit into a matchbox, and the best body cavities for hiding handkerchiefs. In the back are the names of every girl he sawed in half, small hearts drawn next to the best. It's not the lost loves he regrets most, or the lean years he ate only balloon animals, but that he'd spent so much time hiding how it's done, he forgets now how it ends. High school. He never considered fitting in, but disappearing was something to shoot for. Memorizing every corner in the school building, which doors locked and which didn't, took an entire year. By then he was nearly invisible already, except for the sound he made in the back of the room when Cindy leaned her hip against the Spanish teacher's desk. God, but he wanted to saw that girl in half. By this stage in life, he's swallowed a lot, but give the audience what they want: danger and a little blood. As with most important lessons, understanding the trick and sliding the steel down your throat are two different things. Start small, a butter knife or broken switchblade, until you advance to screwdrivers up the nose. The more you want, he tells himself, the farther you'll go, until one day you can feel the cold blade slick past your heart. With each beat, the edge chips a tooth.